Have you noticed small, subtle changes in someone you care about over the past year? Many believe that death in old age comes without warning, but the reality is, the body usually gives quiet signals, sometimes for months, even up to a year before the end. The challenge is, these signs are easy to overlook because they appear so gently at first. It's often only in hindsight that families recognize the warnings were there all along. But by then, it's too late to plan, too late to make the most of the time left. In this video, we'll explore 5 important signs that often show up around a year before an elderly person passes away. You may have seen some of them but dismissed them as normal aging. Others might seem harmless, yet they hint at deeper changes within the body. Spotting these early allows you to offer better support, treasure meaningful time, and most of all, ensure your loved one experiences their final chapter with care, grace, and peace. Stick with us. Stay with us until the end, because these 5 signs can help you prepare both emotionally and practically for what lies ahead. When you know what to expect, you won't be shocked or unprepared. Instead, you'll be able to truly value the time left with your loved one. So let's dive in. Number 1. Noticeable weight loss. One of the first and most important signs that someone may be nearing the last year of life is unexpected weight loss. It might start off small, a belt that fits looser, baggy clothes, or a once strong appetite that begins to fade. Many people brush this off as a normal part of aging, but in reality, losing weight without trying is rarely harmless. It often means the body is no longer getting or using nutrients properly. Muscles begin to shrink, and key systems begin slowing down. While some muscle loss is expected with age, rapid loss is a red flag. It could mean the digestive system is failing to absorb food, or that the body can't break down protein like it used to, causing muscles to waste away. This weakness does more than slow someone down. It raises the chances of falling, weakens the immune system, and leaves them exposed to illness. Another major cause of weight loss in the final year is appetite decline. Many older people simply lose interest in food. Their taste dulls, meals stop being enjoyable, and they may start eating less or skipping food altogether. If you see a loved one dealing with deep, ongoing fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, take it seriously. It's a strong signal that their body is undergoing a significant shift. This is the time to slow down with them, have meaningful conversations, bring peace into their environment, and offer your support without expecting too much in return. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what they can still accomplish. It's about making sure they feel cared for, understood, and truly at ease. If you're still with us and this video is helping you understand these signs better, type number 2 in the comments so we know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button and turn on the bell icon, so you never miss a video. Your support keeps us going, helping us create content that brings insight and comfort to those who need it. Now, let's continue. Number 3. Increasing confusion or withdrawal. As someone moves closer to the final stage of life, some of the most noticeable changes appear in how they think, talk, and interact. You may observe that someone who used to be alert and involved now forgets things more frequently, finds it harder to follow conversations, or becomes confused in familiar places. They might repeat questions, struggle with names, or lose their sense of time, even if they never had memory problems before. These cognitive changes can quietly start many months, or even a year, before death. This isn't just normal aging forgetfulness. The brain needs a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients to work properly, and as blood flow slows, its function starts to fade. The person may have trouble making choices, get confused easily, or even fail to recognize loved ones and places they've always known. In some cases, they might have short windows of clarity, followed by sudden confusion, as if their awareness is fading in and out. Another sign is emotional withdrawal. People nearing the end often begin to pull away from social connection. You might see them talking less, showing little interest in conversation, or sitting quietly for long periods. This doesn't mean they've stopped caring. It means their brain is processing the world differently. Talking can feel exhausting, and loud environments may become overwhelming. Eventually, many begin to retreat inward, into silence and solitude. You may also notice shifts in mood or behavior. Some become irritable, anxious, or frustrated easily. Others grow surprisingly calm or emotionally distant from things they once loved. This isn't just a change in personality. It's often the brain adjusting as the body slows. With mental decline, emotional responses dull, and the person may stop reacting to situations the way they used to. What's most critical is that the heart no longer pumps as strongly. Blood flow slows, and muscles aren't getting the oxygen they once relied on. This is why, in their final months, many elderly people feel weaker, more unstable, and unable to keep up with the activities they once loved. Another major factor is a slower metabolism. The body, once focused on generating and using energy, starts shifting its efforts. Rather than powering motion, the energy now goes toward preserving core functions. This shift explains why people nearing the end begin sleeping more, taking frequent naps, struggling to stay awake, or feeling wiped out after doing very little. Some might even experience sharp drops in energy, seeming fine one moment, only to become completely drained the next. But perhaps the hardest part is how this fatigue affects them emotionally. Seniors who were once proud of their independence may now feel ashamed or upset that they can't manage basic tasks. They might pull away from others, not because they've lost interest, but because they simply don't have the strength. This can create a cycle of isolation, where they slowly stop engaging altogether, which in turn speeds up the decline. For families, watching this shift, from lively and involved to quiet and withdrawn, is incredibly difficult. It's tempting to believe they're just giving up or that they need to try harder. But the truth is, pushing them won't change what's happening. What truly matters now is recognizing their limits, giving them space to rest, and ensuring their remaining time is spent with as much peace and comfort as possible. This isn't just about food preferences, it's a physical shift. As the body begins shutting down, it stops sending regular hunger signals to the brain. The outcome: lower energy, declining strength, and a slow breakdown of overall health. Then there's the influence of underlying health conditions. Sudden weight loss is often linked to chronic illnesses like cancer, heart issues, or kidney failure, conditions that may silently progress before any major symptoms appear. Even mental health issues like depression or early cognitive problems can reduce appetite, creating a cycle where the body isn't getting enough fuel to keep going. Families often respond by encouraging their loved ones to eat more, offering familiar meals or adding protein supplements. But if the weight continues to drop in spite of these efforts, it's important to understand that the root issue may not be diet, it could be the body preparing for a larger change. At this point, forcing big meals might do more harm than good. Instead, offering soft, simple foods and focusing on hydration can do more to support comfort and well-being. If you've noticed your elderly loved one losing noticeable weight, especially if they're eating less, feeling more tired, or struggling to move around, it's time to take notice. This isn't about how they look, it's the body sending a quiet but clear signal. Recognizing that signal now can help you face what's coming with awareness, empathy, and the chance to make the time ahead truly count. Number 2. Overwhelming fatigue and weakness. One of the clearest signs in the final year of life is deep, ongoing exhaustion that rest doesn't fix. It's more than just normal tiredness. It's a bone-deep fatigue that makes even simple actions feel heavy. Just getting out of bed can be a struggle. Walking across the room becomes a slow task. Everyday things, cooking, dressing, or chatting, start to feel like too much. This level of fatigue isn't only about aging. It's the body slowing down, conserving its last reserves as vital systems begin to fade the way they used to. For families, this stage can be incredibly painful. Seeing someone you love slip away mentally or emotionally, while still being physically present, can feel like grieving twice. But it's essential to understand that these changes aren't intentional. They're not shutting you out on purpose. Instead of trying to pull them back into who they were, try to meet them where they are now. Speak softly, be reassuring, and know that even if they don't always reply, your presence still brings them comfort. If your loved one is becoming forgetful, confused, or less engaged with the world, don't brush it off. These signs are often quiet signals that the mind and body are preparing for a final goodbye. This is the time to slow down, to embrace silence, and to create a space that feels calm, known, and secure. Because even when memory fades and conversations stop, love, touch, and the warmth of being near someone you care about still speak louder than words. Let's move forward. Number 4. Frequent infections and slow healing. One of the more visible physical signs that someone is nearing the end of life is a weakened immune system. You might begin to notice that someone who hardly ever got sick before now seems to catch every cold or infection that goes around. What used to be minor bugs now take longer to bounce back from, and even small cuts or bruises take unusually long to heal. These aren't random issues. They're the body's way of showing that its ability to protect and repair itself is fading. A common red flag is the rise in recurring infections. Things like pneumonia, urinary tract infections, UTIs, skin sores, and gum infections. At first, these might seem like isolated problems, but if they keep happening or take weeks to resolve, it's usually a sign that the body can no longer fight back effectively. Even medications that used to work quickly might now offer only temporary relief. Treatments take longer, recovery feels harder, and the person may need stronger doses or repeated rounds of care for things that were once minor. Another subtle but important issue is wounds that don't heal properly. If you notice scrapes, blisters, or pressure sores that linger or reopen, it might be due to poor blood flow. Without proper circulation, the skin and tissues don't get enough oxygen and nutrients to repair themselves. For less mobile seniors, bed sores and pressure wounds can develop quickly and become dangerous if not treated carefully. What's especially tricky is that infections in the elderly often don't look like we expect. Instead of running a fever, they might seem more drowsy than usual, more disoriented, or lose their appetite without warning. For aging individuals, confusion is often the first sign of infection, even before any physical symptoms show up. That's why spotting these subtle changes early can help improve comfort and care during this stage. For loved ones, witnessing repeated infections can feel overwhelming and discouraging. You might find yourself hoping that just one more antibiotic or another trip to the hospital will make a difference. But sometimes, the goal shifts, from trying to cure to simply caring. In these moments, small efforts like helping them stay clean, hydrated, and relaxed can provide more comfort than pushing for aggressive treatments. It's about focusing on peace, not prolonging pain. If you've made it this far and feel these insights are helping you, please comment, number 4, below to let me know you're still here. As meaningful and comforting as possible. Number 5. Major changes in breathing or circulation. One of the most powerful indicators that someone is nearing the final stages of life is a shift in how they breathe and how their blood circulates. You might begin to notice their breathing becomes slower, more shallow, or even irregular. At times, they may pause between breaths, and you may hear their breath quicken and then slow again without reason. This isn't just tiredness, it's the body's rhythm adjusting. One particularly noticeable pattern is called Cheney-Stokes respiration, where breaths alternate between deep, rapid breathing and long periods of silence. At first, this may be occasional. Over time, though, it tends to happen more often and more prominently. Changes in circulation are just as telling. Hands, feet, ears, and the tip of the nose may begin to feel cold, even in a warm room. The skin might take on a pale, bluish, or mottled tone, especially around the extremities. This happens because the heart, now working less efficiently, starts conserving energy, directing blood away from the limbs and toward the core organs. Even mild activities like sitting up or shifting position can leave them short of breath. You might notice they start breathing through their mouth more often or stop mid-sentence to catch their breath. Where they once walked easily across the room, now even that feels like a mountain. Sometimes fluid starts to build up in the lungs, leading to a soft gurgling sound, a tight feeling in the chest, or a persistent cough. While these symptoms might seem like a common cold, in reality, they're often signs that lung function is winding down. You might find your loved one preferring to sleep upright, on several pillows, or even in a chair, because lying flat makes breathing harder. For family members, seeing these shifts can be incredibly unsettling. You may instinctively want to help, urging them to take deeper breaths, adjusting their pillows, or wondering if emergency care is needed. But often, these changes don't signal an urgent crisis. They're part of the body's natural slowing. While these symptoms can't always be fixed, they can be eased. A cool room, a humidifier, or gentle sips of water can bring comfort. In some cases, medications or oxygen may help, but the focus becomes soothing, not curing. If you begin noticing changes like these, cool limbs, bluish skin, shortness of breath, it's the body's way of saying it's conserving strength. It's time to step into a role not of fixing, but of comforting. Be near, be calm, make their space peaceful, their body at ease, and their heart reassured that they're not facing this chapter alone. Final thoughts. As we close out this video, take a moment to truly absorb the journey we've walked through together. Significant weight loss, deep fatigue, mental confusion or withdrawal, frequent infections, and breathing and circulation changes. These 5 signs tend to show up in the final year of life, sometimes gradually, sometimes suddenly. They don't always come in order, and not every person will experience all of them. But when you begin to see these changes, it's often a quiet signal that the body is preparing for its final farewell. This can be incredibly hard to accept. It's natural to want to push back, encouraging a loved one to eat more, move more, or shake off the tiredness. But at a certain point, the most loving thing we can do is shift our focus, from trying to reverse what's happening, to honoring it. The body is doing what it's designed to do, and our role becomes one of compassion. We can offer comfort, we can bring calm, we can make sure that the days they have left are filled with love, peace, and dignity. That is what truly matters. If you found this video helpful and stayed with me until the end, please comment, number 5, below. It means a lot to know these insights are reaching you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so. Hit the bell icon too. Your support helps us keep creating content that informs, supports, and comforts those who need it most. As peaceful, comfortable, and meaningful as possible. Understanding these signs isn't about fearing death, it's about being prepared for it. When you start noticing these changes early, you can provide better care, make thoughtful decisions, and ensure that your loved one's final months are filled with dignity, love, and comfort. This is a time for cherishing small moments, telling stories, and showing them that they are valued and never alone. If you're recognizing these signs in someone close to you, take a deep breath and remember, you are not alone in this journey. Many families have walked this path before, and while it's never easy, knowing what to expect can help you navigate it with strength, patience, and peace. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, and we always appreciate reading your comments. They give us the motivation and encouragement to continue creating valuable content. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue providing the content that informs, supports, and inspires. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.